Mr. Bongo, thank you very much for giving the opportunity to come and then make a presentation to you regarding regarding the Oxford biscuit that we have. Basically, I would like to do an introduction, where I identify what the problem is, then have a conversation around the marketing mix, and then what kind of research plan that we will have, the kind of information we require to be able to um, identify what the problem is, give character to the problem, and then we'll devise a research plan, look at resources required, and then, of course, make conclusions going forward. Sure enough, United did get their goal on the break. The problem is our biscuit, as it is today, is sold mainly in the eastern part of Nigeria. If you look at the graph on the right, you will see that sales is about 58% in the east, whereas the rest covers about 48%. But when you look at the population structure of Nigeria, what you see is that the north has almost 40%. And so why are we not selling in the north? Why are we not selling in other places? Why are we not selling substantially in the east? So we want to understand why. That is the problem that we want to address. In doing that, let's have a look back on what do we have. What we have is our marketing mix. Basically, our marketing mix identifies the areas of the product. The product we have here is basically cracker, recognized basically as healthy snack, and is consumed across our spectrum of young, old, everyone. Our prices are very competitive, to be able to penetrate the market. We sell in almost all corner shops, all supermarkets, all vendors across the nation. Our promotion is, like you're well aware, limited to radio and TV adverts, and then billboards in major highways. Bruno Fernandes, I think, just trying to reinforce the point. Okay, so what information would we need in order to be able to understand the problem better? What kind of consumer involvement in making decisions for Oxford biscuits? One of the information we want to look at. How do we find out, how do we come about this consumer problem? And then how do we respond to this consumer problem? How do we help the consumers to recognize this problem? These are the information we will need in order to understand this problem better. Now, diving deep on these issues, one of the things we need to look at is what kind of consumer involvement in making buying decisions for Oxford biscuits. There are options available for us to explore, one of which is nominal decision making, brand loyalty, purchases, repeat purchases. Those are things that not too much thinking goes around. Limited. And then there's some effort. Is there any effort around it before decisions are making, or does it require extended decision making? I mean, a lot of research and all that to be able to come to a decision. Then how did we come about this problem? I mean, identify this problem. We did activity analysis, based on the data that we have. That's what we did. So that's how we came by this problem. So how do we respond to this consumer problem? Once this problem is identified, there are options available to us. This will involve developing new product or altering an existing one. Is it possible for us to do that? Modifying our channels of distribution, changing price policy if possible, revising advertising strategy. Those are the options available for us. How do we help consumers to recognize this problem? For us, I think, given the fact that it is a brand issue, selective problem recognition is the best approach, which involves a discrepancy only on one brand, which can be solved, in this case, Oxford biscuits. We could also attempt to find selective problem recognition to gain and maintain market share. That's exactly what we want to do, to be able to expand our market share, given the fact that, why are we selling in the East and not selling in other places? Having established the critical questions that we want to address, what methodologies are we going to use in conducting this research? For us, we should have two tier. We should have the surveys, the target market being the target populations being distributors, sub-distributors, and key customers. Having done that, we will now dig deeper to do focus group discussion of key customers, be able to for us to understand all these problems. Now, some of the questions we may want to ask is what is the typical customer that buy Oxford Biscuit? Why do they buy Oxford Biscuit? Why are they people not buying? When we go to the focus groups, why are people not buying Oxford Biscuits? Who can buy? More people can buy Oxford Biscuit. This will help us to understand the relationship between the profile of the consumer and the problem. That way we'll be able to address the consumer issues in all the respective markets and then use the resources to address them properly. Now, what are the resources are we going to require for this research? Of course, we'll require money, which is the financial commitment required to do the research. It will be limited, not too much. Basically, it requires a period of about 90 days for us to do that. We require time, which is the period the research will be conducted. It will also be limited, not greater than 90 days. We'll need expertise, our people, people with the capabilities to be able to do it, the people required to deploy the skills in conducting the research. It will be limited to employees. We may require ad hoc persons, especially when we're deploying and doing interviews. The focus group leads will come from them, will be trained, all will not require more than 90 days. And we'll need leadership support, visibility, for this project to succeed. If you don't have visibility, nothing happens. And we need visible commitment from leadership for the research project. And in this regard, we'll need the CEO to be visible. Of course, Mr. Bongo yourselves, the Chief Marketing Officer, have to show commitment for this particular project. And we expect that it won't commit more than 90 days for you to close out this issue. Now, what are the critical objectives at the end of the day? What are the end result we're looking? We need to understand also Biscuit's success in Eastern Nigeria. We need to also understand also Biscuit's challenges in other markets in the country. We need to leverage the strengths in the East to improve sales in the rest of the country. We also want to understand the challenges in other areas. These challenges will be barriers we need to cross. And then these barriers may indeed be in even where we're doing well. So how can we succeed by removing those barriers in all the markets in such a way that we can increase? We run the numbers. The business case here clearly shows that we could gain in 1 year 15% sales growth after we have identified these issues. The strengths in the East, which we want to leverage on in all the other markets, the challenges in all the markets that we can use to remove. I am very certain that you're going to give me the resources, you're going to approve this project so that the company can gain the 15%. That is the lowest threshold that we can achieve. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, sir.